And 3, 2, 1. We are live streaming on YouTube from up here at beautiful Powderhorn Mountain Resort. Welcome to all the Buddy Werner kids, coaches, and families. I see you guys out there. Are you excited to get some racing started? All right, to the people watching, you can't hear all the cheers. We have a pretty good crowd out there today. For those of you that have been following along with the video broadcast, today I'm trying a new camera lens at the finish. So it's a wider angle lens to get more of the actual finish line so you can see your racers kind of reaching for that finish line while still seeing a little bit of the upper portion of the race run. Of course, I've got my other long lens that sort of zooms up towards the top so we can get high quality shots of the racers coming out of the start. Our racing is brought to you by our sponsors. We could not do this. It is expensive to run these race programs, and although all of the kids, there's like a fee to be a part of the Powderhorn Racing Club, that fee is way lower than it would be without these great sponsors, such as Leitner Poma of America, Timberline Bank, Shaw Construction, Greater Grand Junction Sports Commission, Reams and Reams Law, Intermountain Health, Rocky Mountain Orthopedics, Dufford Wadleck Law, Rocky Toppers and Campers, Towie Adventure Tow Bungees, All Sound Designs, Technology Simplified. Speaking of technology, you can go to powderhornracing.org and go to the live events tab to check out today's results quickly once the race is over, as well as take a look at the YouTube video. Hit me up on chat. Oh, look, I got a chat coming in already. Go Theo97, happy birthday. Good luck on your race today and have fun. Oh, and Coach Rich, go Pats. A big sports day today. There's like a few other things happening besides the Buddy Werner race. You guys might have heard of them. But we've got a lot of competition. Olympics, Super Bowl, what a great day. I couldn't be happier to be up here in the sunny mountains of Powderhorn. And mic testing to the radio at the top. Okay, mic test to the top. 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 Tell me more or less. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Geez, I don't know if I even moved it. Okay. So what we are just testing, everyone that's listening along, is we have a FM transmitter transmitting on 107.1. So bring your FM radios up. You could listen to the live broadcast on the chairlift or anywhere on the mountain. But that is so the kids can hear what's going on up at the top. They can hear my voice and the music we're playing. Yes, we got confirmation. It's Jevin like Kevin. Okay, it sounds like we are getting ready for forerunners. I am ready. The course is ready. Starts and stops unlocked. Course is clear-ish. We've got someone on course right now. Okay, here we go. First forerunner, Ren Weatherly. Elgin Ryder is the next forerunner. Coming in on the YouTube chat, go Stella, kick butt girl. And just so you guys know, even if you're here with me, you can send me chats on the YouTube and I can read them out loud for your athlete. Forerunner comes through 25.68. That's a good time, 25.68. Next up in the start, Amelia Schmidt. All right, Amelia on course at the top. Coming through the finish, forerunner 2, 24.40, 24.40. All right, looks like we're getting our first bib in the gate. We tend to start with the littlers, like the littles, the younger skiers. So it looks like we've got Britta Iron in the start gate. Now what I'll do my best to tell you guys who is in the start gate so you can know when your favorite skier is coming up so you can keep an eye on them. That last forerunner through was a 33.42, 33.42. Looking up the course at Britta Iron, part of Team Stevens group in the U8 category. Here we go. Britta Iron on course. Breyer and Reese, kick some butt. The Clemens fam is cheering you on. Go Eva, go Stella. Go Theo, happy birthday. Number 97, I'll try to remember that when Theo is up. Here is Britta Iron. Next up in the start, Mo Gomes. Did I get that right? Oh, Britta, drama. Britta having trouble at the bottom. Keep an eye on it. Okay, Mo is on course at the top. Britta's getting up. So some course workers helping out. That is bib 32. Okay, so if you lose a ski, it is automatically a disqualification, unfortunately, but that was a good running going. Up at the top, Margot Weislumpski in the start gate. Nope, that is wrong. Stella Echeverry in the start gate. Coming to the bottom, Mo, keeping it clean. Course in pretty good condition right now. You can see the groom marks. It'll get ruddy and more difficult later in the day. Up at the top of the course, Stella Echeverry on course. Possibly Hayden Binsey next up in the start gate. Coming through the finish, Mo with the time of 54.20. Bib 39, Hayden Binsey in the start gate. Go Hayden. You've got a cheering section down here. Hayden can hear me up at the top, you guys. All right, we've got Sarah here. She's got some things she wants to say on the microphone. She says she changed her mind. All right, Hayden Binsey on course at the top. Stella nearing the bottom. Stella Echeverry with a time of 57.59. 57.959. Weiserman and Everly screaming, "Go Stella" from Oklahoma. Stella, if you can hear. Yzerman and Everly, go Stella. Go Breyer and Reese. Maybreeze are cheering you on. Up at the top, Eleanor Neese next up in the start gate. Hayden Binsey mid-course. Hayden going fast. Eleanor on course at the top. Eshawn Kimmel next up in the start gate. Coming to the finish, Hayden Binsey. Hayden, 51.40, 51.40. Eleanor Neese, mid-course. The course we're racing today, its name is Wonder Bump. And what's interesting is with this low snow year, the bumps are more pronounced than ever. They get heavy at the bottoms and they kind of make you light at the tops. And you'll see the kids in the middle of the course start having trouble when they get into the bumps. Eshawn Kimmel on course at the top. Eleanor Neese coming to the bottom. Oh, Eleanor takes a sharp left. That's bib 40. Okay, that gate challenge might be a problem. The time for Eleanor is 57:03, but I have a feeling that may be a DQ. Eshawn Kimmel coming to the bottom, up at the top. Crush It Eleanor from Opa and Oma. Good luck, Reese and Breyer Stanley from Great Grandma and Auntie Chris watching from Chicago. Eshawn Kimmel with a time of 48.60, 48.60. We are making a couple changes to our bib numbers on the timing computer right now. That's why there's a hold in the start. Okay, Birdie. Is it Hislop? In the start gate. Here we go. I think Birdie is clear to start. 49 viewers on YouTube right now. Good luck, Reese and Breyer Stanley from Chicago again. And Birdie on course. Possibly, oh, Eliza Sherbino in the start gate. For those of you on the live stream, that sometimes you'll see me talking, but you don't hear me. It's because I have a noise gate on the microphone. And so that's just me communicating with my team. Okay, Eliza Sherbino on course at the top. Emmy Pitton next up in the start. Birdie coming to the bottom. Bib. The bib is 82. And Birdie with the time of 47.72. Up at the top, Emmy Pitton on course at the top. Emmy on course at the top. Reese Stanley next up. Reese Stanley next up in the start. Birdie just came through with that 47.72. Eliza Sherbino coming in hot here. And Eliza with the time of 42.10. 42.10. Okay, Reese Stanley on course at the top. Frankie Patrick next up in the start gate. Reese mid-course. Frankie Patrick in the start gate. Coming through the finish. Emily Pitton, 45.17. Frankie on course at the top. Crashes immediately, trying to generate power out of the start. This happens sometimes. This is fine. There's no DQ here. Frankie is fine. Not going to be happy with the time, but it's going to get to complete the run here. Veronica Roche in the start gate, coming through the finish. Reese Stanley with the time of 40.78, 40.78. Verona. I read it wrong. Verona in the start gate. As a reminder to parents, each course set is different. So even though the course is the similar start and stop point, you can't compare times from last week's run or even this afternoon's run. Did we reset in the afternoon? There's some question on if we're resetting in the afternoon. Well, the afternoon course will be torn up. If not, it'll be bumpy and probably a little slower just because of course conditions. Up at the top, Verona on course. Frankie Patrick coming to the bottom here. Frankie, 103.56, 103.56. From Alice Mabry. Reese, so proud of you, girl. Good job, killed it. Liam Lennon next up in the start gate. Got some course workers smoothing out the ruts, trying to keep it safe out there. Verona mid-course. Liam in the start gate. All right, Verona at the bottom, 40.27, 40.27. Good luck, Noah and Abby from Mama and Papa from the Caribbean. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, up at the top, Liam Lennon on course. Eva Parkins next up in the start gate. Okay, Liam, the only one on course right now. Verona just came through with that 40.27. That might be the fastest we've seen so far today, the 42.7. It will continue to get faster and faster as we go up in age. Up at the top, Eva Parkins on course. Madison Bonds next up in the start gate. Coming to the bottom, Liam Lennon. Liam, 38.92, 38.92. Eva Parkins mid-course. Madison Bonds in the start gate, ready to go. Way to go, Verona, from Don K and Hazel in Alaska. I'm so impressed with you guys supporting the kids. Okay, Madison Bonds on course to the top. Nicole Zagala in the start gate. At the finish, Eva Parkins with a 42.68. Eva, mom says, have fun, love you, from April. Only seeing live stream from one camera. Let's check this. Okay, there. Hey, thank you, thank you. Yeah, camera just froze up. I think we're good. Okay, Bodie Hutchinson in the start gate. Dalton Dahl on course. Madison Bonds just came through with the 43.82. Oh, I need to cool those cameras down, Sarah. Can you help me build a cooling system? So it's funny, guys, it's so sunny, my cameras overheat, and I have to put snow, gallon bags of snow on them. There's gallon bags in my bag right there. And then I like to put these white covers on. So that right there. Okay, up at the start gate, Bodie Hutchinson in the start. Bodie on course at the top. Caleb Nix possibly next up. Dalton Dahl just came through with the 49.01. 49.01 for Dalton Dahl. Ryder Homewood. Ryder Homewood next up in the start. Bodie mid-course. Dalton just came through with the 49.01. For those at the top that can hear me, be careful with the slowdown zone after you come through the finish. So kids up at the top, listen to me here. Slow down once you get across the line. Slow down nice and early. The finish gate is, the finish crowd is kind of small, and we don't want you to come in too hot and crash in. Caleb Nix next up in the start gate. Riker Homewood on course. Bodie just comes through with the fastest time, 35.76. There we go. All right, Caleb Nix on course. Cody Nix next up in the start. Riker Homewood coming across the line with a time of 39.57. 39.57. Oh, I'm frozen now. Boy, the chat is just taking care of me. All right. Right there. That ought to fix it. Woo! Okay, I see all the motion on the screen now. Okay, and Caleb Nix, our blue screen with the live results on screen. That looks good. Cody Nix on course at the top. Caleb Nix coming through with a 37.69. Riker home with 39.57. Good luck, Jevin, coming in from Chelsea, Mass. Did I get that right? Bib 123, Cody Nix on course. Kelsey Alley in the start gate. Cody Nix with a time of 41.27. And Kelsey on course. Possibly Maris Braz in the start gate next. So my little screen I'm looking at autofills based on bib number. So sometimes I say the wrong name and I'll correct myself once I see the problem. And it's actually Pearl Gomes in the start. Kelsey Alley on course. Cody Nix, Caleb and Cody. Caleb goes 37.69. Cody 41.27. Pearl on course at the top. Way to go, Bodie from Courtney White. Next up in the start, Charlie Campbell Wilson. On course, Pearl at the bottom. Kelsey with the time of 37.78. 37.78. That's a good time. All right, Charlie Campbell Wilson in the start. Charlie on course at the top. Oliver Emerson next up in the start gate. All right, we just got my bags of snow put on my cameras to keep them cool. Charlie Campbell Wilson mid-course. Oliver Emerson in the start. At the bottom, Pearl just came through at the 51.87. Charlie at the finish, 37.11, 37.11. Start stop, making a quick adjustment in here. Okay, last skier through, 37.04. 37.04 for Oliver Emerson. Okay, next up, Jevin Gregory. Jevin's got some, he's got people in the crowd cheering for him and online. Next up in the start, Josie Hanley, possibly. Great job, Eva Parkins. Proud of you from Donna. Way to go, Bodie from Courtney. Up in the start gate. Jevin, 34.14. I think that's the fastest time of the day. 34.14. Go Josie from Patrol Chick. All right, little technical glitch here. Hang tight. Okay, problem solved. We are ready to get going again. So Josie Hanley in the start gate. And Josie on course. Possibly Payson Hutton next up in the start. Okay, Felix Braz on course at the top. Remy Olsen next up in the start. Mid-course, Josie Hanley. I just got a birthday wish, so when Theo Tanui gets up there, it is Theo's birthday today. So, Bincy Girls Rock from Nana and Papa from Pagosa Springs. Up at the top, Remy Olsen in the start gate. Felix Braz mid-course. Come through the finish. Josie Hanley, 41.87. 41.87. Ellie Wincheffel next up in the start gate. Felix coming in to the bottom here. Start gate just changed. Leighton Strove in the start gate. And at the finish, Felix with a time of 42.69. Up at the top, Leighton on course. Gray Toltz in the start gate. Leighton Strove at the top of the course. Remy Olsen coming to the finish. 41.77. Gray Toltz on course at the top. Reese Bincy next up in the start gate. Reese, good luck from Nana and Papa in Pagosa Springs. They're watching. Gray Toltz on course at the top. Leighton coming to the finish with a time of 40.54. That's 40.54. Reese Bensi on course at the top, looking racy. Ava Lennon next up in the start gate. Gray Toltz coming into the bottom here, bib 72. Ava Lennon on course at the top. Reese Bensi coming to the bottom. Gray Toltz with a time of 40.68. 40.68. Go Gray from Courtney White watching on YouTube. Congratulations, Jevin, from Michael Cowles. Ava Lennon on course, Porter Harless next up in the start gate. Porter charging out of the gate, holding good speed already. Noah Spar next up in the start. Ava Lennon coming through the finish fast with a 41.64. 41.64. Noah loading in the top. Porter Harless mid-course. Oh man, Noah pulling out of the gate there, getting some extra speed. Amazing job, Gray, from Kim Toltz from the YouTube chat. Elliott Kirk next up in the start gate. Coming through the finish, Porter with the 44.69. 44.69. Elliott Kirk on course to the top. Noah Spar coming to the finish, holding good speed, tucking in at the finish. Noah 32.02. Second fastest of the day so far. 32.02. Reese Bensi in the number one spot. Fastest we've seen so far. 31.95. Otto Richards in the start gate. Mid-course, Elliott Kirk. That is a course worker at the top, slipping out the ruts, sort of side sliding, pushing the ruts out of the turns. All right, Theo Tanui in the start gate. It's his birthday. Birthday boy, Theo. Here we go, Theo. I got a few comments on you earlier today. Good luck, the racers. Oh, Coach Rick, go Pats, go Stella. Oh, I lost it. There was another happy birthday, Theo. Oh, look at Theo's speed. Oh my gosh, tons of entry speed. Coming to the finish, Otto Richards. At the top, Florence Zyban next up in the start. Otto Richards at the finish, 38.69, 38.69. Florence Zyvan on course at the top. Florence on course at the top. Possibly Wesley Youngblood next up in the gate. Theo having a great run. And Theo goes fastest. Happy birthday, Theo. Hey everyone, let's say happy birthday to him. You ready? Happy birthday. Okay, now you take it over. The crowd is singing happy birthday to him. I got to tell you guys that Henry Neese is next up on the start gate. Wesley Youngblood is on course at the top. Florence Zyvan nearing the bottom. Theo just came through with that fastest 31.34. Florence Zyvan 39.22. Henry Neese next up in the start. Henry on course at the top. West Hamrick possibly next up on the start, to be confirmed. Wesley Youngblood nearing the finish. In the start gate, it's Gavin McCleary. I was wrong. Gavin in the start gate. At the finish, Wesley with the 38.53 for Wesley. 38.53. Henry Neese mid-course. On course at the top, Gavin. Ryland Towner next up in the start gate. Henry comes through the finish with a good time, 33.23. 33.23. Ryland Towner in the start gate. Gavin McCleary mid-course, giving that red gate plenty of space there. Nice round turns. Kicking up snow, getting a lot of traction. Great race, Breyer from Chris Williams. Go Will Pitton from Papa and Gaga. Rip It Up Henry from Amma and Opa. Ryland Towner on course to the top. Stone McCoon in the start gate. Oh, we got it. We got a skier down up at the top. Ryland's ski comes off. I think when the ski comes off, that is an automatic DQ, even if they go around all the gates. And it's okay if he goes through the course. Okay, last skier through was Gavin McCleary with a time of 45.74. 45.74. Stone McCoon in the start gate. Ryland getting the skis put back on. It's hard to get skis on the course. What you can't tell looking up is it's actually really quite steep. So if you watch the skier trying to walk down, you can see him struggling. That course is steep right there. Like way steeper than it looks. All right, looks to me like we probably can get the next racer going, maybe. Yeah, so it looks like Ryland is cleared out of the way, safe to start the next racer. This is Stone McCoon on course. Here we go. Ethan Moore, next up in the start gate. Again, Go Will Pitton from Papa and Gaga. Rip It Up Henry from Alma and Opa. Boy, I love all these grandparent names. They're adorable. Ethan Moore on course at the top. Holden Robertson next up in the start gate. Possibly could change. Nope, I got a thumbs up. That's Holden next up in the start. Stone McCoon coming to the bottom. Low and wide, looking good. Pulling into the tuck. This is going to be a good one. Stone McCoon, 34.77. 34.77. Holden Robertson on course at the top. Mid-course, Ethan Moore. Rowan Detton in the start gate. Rowan next up in the start. All right, Ethan Moore, 41.72. 41.72. Ethan Moore, 41.72. Holden Robertson, mid-course. Holden coming through 38.91. 38.91. This is our down skier. Got the skis back on. He's going to finish this course. That's awesome. Bib 44. All right, that's Ryland coming through the finish, finishing way to never give up and get that finish. Good job, Ryland. Okay, Rowan Detton on course at the top. Drew Middleman next up in the start. Drew Middleman on course at the top. Wilder next up in the start gate. Wilder in the start gate. At the finish, Rowan with a 37.03. Wilder in the start. Wilder Rocher, maybe? Wilder on course. Drew Middleman. At the finish, Drew 42.99, 42.99. Wilder mid-course. Christopher Fulton next up in the start gate. Christopher on course, skating out of the start, finding that extra speed. Stephen Towles in the start gate. Coming through the finish, bib 131, Wilder 37.33, 37.33. Stephen on course at the top. Christopher Fulton mid-course. Haken Iron next up in the start gate. Wilder, we are so proud of you from Don K and Hazel. Good job, Rowan from Derek. These are chats coming in on the YouTube. Haken Iron in the start gate. Stephen Towels coming to the bottom here. Haken on course at the top. Stephen at the finish, 37.46. 37.46. Wyatt Robertson next up in the start gate. Haken on course. Papa and Grammy, I'll deliver your message when he's at the bottom and can hear me. Wyatt Robertson on course at the top. Possibly Harvey Smith next up. We're on Coach Lee's group right now. Harvey Smith next up in the start gate. Wyatt Robertson mid-course. Coming through the finish. Haken Iron with a time of 38.30. Haken, I got a chat coming in on the YouTube. Yay, Haken from Papa and Grammy watching you. Go Harry Racebrook from Jules Whale Life Coach. Way to go, Noah. You did great from Barber Spar. Yay, Haken. Love Aunt Taylor. Go, Haken. You've got this from Lori. Up at the top, Harvey Smith on course. Wyatt Dahl next up in the start. Wyatt Robertson finishing 37.31. Go, Harvey from Courtney White. Harvey mid-course. Courtney, I'll redeliver that message when he's down and can hear me. Wyatt Dahl in the start gate. Big shout out to Wyatt's father. Greg Dahl is our volunteer starter today. He's up there on the headset talking to our timer, getting all the kids lined out. Greg Dahl, also the winner of our adult ski race league from Friday. He is an amazing skier. Harvey Smith comes through 38.68. Harvey, I've got a Go Harvey coming in on YouTube chat from Courtney White. Wyatt Dahl on course at the top. Go Harry Racebrook. Love Grandma and Skipper in England. Amazing, you guys. I love it. Ellie Winsheffel next up in the start gate. Wyatt Dahl mid-course. Looks like fastest run of the day so far is still Theo Tanui with the 31.34. Okay, on course at the top. Ellie Winsheffel. Ellie on course at the top. Maddie Winsheffel next up in the start gate. And Wyatt Dahl coming through at the line, 41.40, 41.40 for Wyatt. Maddie Winsheffel on course at the top. Rosie Moreland next up in the start gate. Ellie Winsheffel nearing the bottom, pulled into a tuck. And Ellie, 37.55. Rosie Moreland getting ready in the start. Maddie Winsheffel, mid-course. Rosie on course at the top. Abigail Spar in the start gate. We're up to Coach Andrea's group, U12 girls. Most of these. Again, Abigail Spar in the start. Rosie Moreland mid-course. At the finish line, Maddie Winsheffel, 39.22, 39.22. Abigail on course at the top. Next up in the start, Kaylee Josie in the start. Rosie tucking to the finish, gets it. Rosie Moreland, 45.50, 45.50. Kaylee on course at the top. Isabella Meyer in the start gate. Abigail Spar, 37.64. All right, Kaylee mid-course. Courtney, I will deliver your message when she crosses the line and can hear me. Up in the top, Isabella Meyer on course. Isabella on course already. Or Isabella was in the start. Isabella on course. Haley coming to the finish. We just had Abigail come through with a 37.64. This is bib 19. Kaylee with a time of 47.88. 47.88. Kaylee, I got a message here on the YouTube chat. Go Kaylee, Mama loves you from Courtney. Go Madison from Pop Pop and Grandma Sue. Lila Rose on course at the top. Isabella Meyer mid-course. Kaylee just came through at the 47.88. Abigail 37.64. Fastest of the day 34.31 from Theo. Isabella at the finish 40.19, 40.19. Mirren Harless in the start gate. Mirren on course already. Possibly Aspen Co. in the start. Bella Dipsy next up in the start. Coming across the line. Lila 38.91, 38.91. Mirren Harless coming to the bottom. Aspen Co. on course. Bella Dipsy in the start gate. Mirren with a time of 37.78. Bella Dipsy in the start. Aspen mid-course. Aspen making that race suit look good. Great job, Abigail. Great race from Barbara Spar. Brody Code next up in the start. Bella Dipsy mid-course. Aspen 36 flat, 36.00. Brody in the start gate mid-course. Bella Dipsy. Great job, Abigail. Again from Barbara. Brody on course at the top. Brody going fast. Sage Patrick Becker in the start gate. Brody holding good speed here. Bella Dipsy nearing the bottom. Bella with the clean run. 44.67, 44.67. Sage on course at the top. Sky in the start gate. Sky Ammerman Ring. My screen is only, it's not that long. I can't see the full name sometimes. Oh, Eder. It is tough to, we should put Eder in the name so I read it correctly. Brody Co. coming through the finish. 33.28. That's a good one. Sage mid-course. Eder on course. Okay, Harry Racebrook on course at the top. Possibly Owen Strove in the start gate. Sage with the 33.14. Eder coming to the bottom here. Bib 26. Eder holding good speed. 33.98. 33.98. Go Nash Weatherly. Nana and Papa are so proud of you from Kimberly. Logan Maturino in the start gate. Owen Strove on course at the top. Coming to the bottom. Quick. Harry Racebrook. Harry with a good time, 34.05, 34.05. Logan on course at the top. Casey Drehus in the start gate. Someone's telling me no audio. Okay, at the finish, Owen, 34.61. Casey in the start gate. Logan at the bottom. Owen just came through with that 34.61. Casey on course at the top. Logan finishing with a good 32.79. 32.79. That's a good run. Allison Drehus in the start gate. Allison in the start gate. Mid-course. Casey. Allison on course at the top. Coming through the finish, Casey with a time of 35.88. 35.88. Sid Petrie in the start. And Sid on course. Merrick Fay next up in the start gate. Allison at the finish, 33.57, 33.57. Up at the top, Merrick Fay on course. In the start gate, Sydney Peterson with Coach Andrea's group. Sid Petrie at the finish, 37.86, 37.86. Sydney on course at the top. Maris Braz in the start gate. Merrick Fay coming to the bottom here. Merrick with a time of 40.11, 40.11. Maris Braz on course at the top. Sydney Peterson mid-course. Xavier Maturino in the start gate. Tara Becker, thank you. So you guys can hear me? Question mark. Xavier Maturino in the start gate. Maris Braz mid-course. Sydney Peterson with a time of 36.30. Looks like we're getting to the end of our racers today. The pack at the top is looking less. Nash Weatherly next up in the start gate. Xavier mid-course coming to the finish. Maris Braz 40.64, 40.64. Oscar Yaros in the start gate. Oscar ready to go. Coming through the finish. Xavier with a time of 33.10. 33.10. Nash Weatherly holding good speed through the mid-course. Oscar on course at the top. Will Pitton in the start gate. Will next up to race. Nash Weatherly at the finish. 33.17. 33.17. Oscar mid-course. Will Pitton in the start gate. For those of you watching at home, I have a noise gate on the microphone. Sometimes if I pull the mic away, the sound will, you'll still see me talking, and I'm talking to Porter, who's doing the actual timing next to me, but you can't hear me. So the way the mic is tuned, it's so there's not a lot of noise in the background, because I got radios and music and all kinds of things going on in here. Okay, Scarlett Steinmetz in the start gate. At the finish, Oscar just gave us a 35.43. Will Pitton mid-course. Go Bry from Joanne and James. Bry might be our last racer here. Go Bry, go. At the finish, Will Pitton, 31.27. New fastest time. Briar Stanley on course at the top. Scarlett at the bottom, catches an edge, stays up. Will Pitton just came in with that 31.21 on my screen. Fastest of the day, unofficial results here. Scarlett also with a good run, 37.49, 37.49. I have Bib at 95 here with me. I can't remember everybody. Oh, Casey. Hi, Casey. Okay, Bry coming to the finish. And Briar Stanley, 34.85. Scarlett Steinmetz, 37.49. I have a guest in the booth here with me. Tell me your name and how it's going out there.
I'm Casey, and it went awesome. I got a faster time than I did last time, and I think I did great.
Okay. Well, hey, I think you did great as well. Anything else you want to tell us?
Good job, everyone.
All right, good job, everyone. So we have got our last skier through the course. We are going to shut down this broadcast, take a little break, and then be back with you guys around 1 o'clock. Again, big shout out to the sponsors, Lightner Poma, Timberline Bank, Shaw Construction, Greater Grand Junction Sports Commission, Reams and Reams Law, Intermountain Health, Rocky Mountain Orthopedics, Dufford Wadleck Law, Rocky Toppers and Campers, Towie Adventure Tow Bungees, All Sound Designs. Thanks to the sponsors, coaches, parents, volunteers. We can't put these races on without all your help. We're going to take a break. See you back here at 1 p.m.